The top stories: Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed visits the ancient palace of Emperor Fasilides in Gondar town. And Italy expresses desire to bolster strategic partnership with the Horn of Africa. Hello and thank you for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Stay with us. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed today visited the ancient Emperor Fasilides Palace in Gondar town of the state of Amhara. During the visit, Prime Minister Abiy said the most wonderful art and handicrafts made by our ancestors are testimony of the civilization Ethiopia enjoyed during its heydays. Fasilides, Aksum, Lalibela and other ancient monuments are emblems indicating our forefathers' capacity, knowledge and wisdom, Abiy said. The Prime Minister said that professions and works in other parts of Ethiopia were reflected in the palace. They said that in the past it was necessary to bring something that was not in common and make a beautiful and excellent work. The Premier also urged Ethiopians to put aside their political differences and put the country above narrow divides. Foreign Minister Damaka Makonnen hosted an Iftar program on Friday for the diplomatic community based in Addis Ababa. The Iftar dinner program was organized at the Skylight Hotel and brought together diplomats representing various countries and heads of the international organizations, it was learned. Ethiopia and Italy have long-standing relations in agriculture, economic and political fields. Talking to the Ethiopian news agency, Italian ambassador to Ethiopia, Agostino Pales, said Italy sees Ethiopia as its strategic partner in the Horn of Africa. The ambassador also recalled that during Prime Minister Abiy's visit to Italy, the Premier and PM Meloni signed the new cooperation agreement of about 180 million euros, which runs from 2023 to 2025. We have more on that story. Take a look.
Ethiopia and Italy have enjoyed long-standing relations in agriculture, economic and political fields. Italy's ambassador to Ethiopia told Ethiopian news agency that Italy sees Ethiopia as its strategic partner in the Horn of Africa.
I think the visit of Prime Minister Abiy in Italy was a very important visit, very fruitful. I mean, once again, we affirm our, very close political, views, and our strategic partner in the Horn of Africa as Ethiopia. We exchange political views in all the matters.
Regarding to development activities in Ethiopia, the ambassador also said Italy launched its new strategy, Piano Mati, which seeks energy development in Ethiopia to attract private investment to improve the skills and training in many different sectors.
We try to bring here the best, Italian technologies and the best Italian skills. As I said before, not with predatory intention, but with, the being sure that we could be a mutual benefit for both countries in order to use, for example, the energy that you have here, that is clean energy and low-cost energy, and maybe we can transfer our skills, our training, and in many sectors, like I mentioned before, agro-industrial, like modern technologies. All the things regarding, the green area, like renewable resources. We are in the forefront in the world, so we can help Ethiopia in this, and could be a mutual benefit even for our, entrepreneur to come here.
The ambassador stressed to further strengthen the relations between the two countries for mutual respect and benefits.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Birr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Welcome back. Although marred at times by a host of challenges, Ethiopia's diplomatic journey has achieved quite a remarkable success, particularly in its public diplomacy and diaspora engagement. Talking to ETV, Foreign Affairs and International Relations expert underscored that Ethiopia's diplomacy was put to the ultimate test due to conflicts popping up in various parts of the country and the two-year war in the north. Our staff reporter, Yemer Adam, has compiled the following story, and Shagao Yamatow presents it as follows.
There is one overriding truth about the Horn of Africa. It straddles a geographical space of such strategic importance. The region comprising the countries of Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan and Somalia, with Kenya and Uganda very closely associated, has attracted once again in its history the attention of greater powers.
ባላት ህዝብ ብዛት ባላት ሂስትሪ ፓን አፍሪካኒዝም ላይ ባላት ሲምቦሊክ አሶሲዬሽን ደግሞ ተእምርታዊ አሪያነት እንዲሁም የአፍሪካ ህብረት መቀመጫ ከመሆኑ አንፃር ትልቅ የዲፕሎማቲ ሀብ የሆነች ሀገር ነች። በአንድም በሌላም በኢኮኖሚም በምንም ያ ነገር ሁሌም መንገራገጭ ውስጥ ቢሆንም ስቲል ግን እና ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ እነዚህ ሀያላን ሀገራቸው አይናቸውን ያነሳሉ ብሎ ማሰሞኝ ነው። ስለዚህ የመጀመሪያ ኢትዮጵያ ዲፕሎማሲ ትልቁ ስኬት የሚሆነው ምንድነው? ያለንበትን የጂኦስትራቴጂክ ቀጠና ማወቅ ነው። ምንድነው ነው?
Equipped with a better grasp of this reality, the new reformist regime that came to power in 2018 contributed to a peaceful end to the Ethio-Eritrea conflict that lasted for more than 2 decades. Its relentless effort for peace paid off, and the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to a dynamic young African leader named Abiy Ahmed, whose sweeping reforms and surprising embrace of a bitter rival have been praised as an inspiration to the continent and a hopeful counterpoint to strongman movements far beyond it. Another foreign affairs researcher says that the country's diplomacy during the time of the Nobel Peace Award had reached a point where it won the acceptance of the superpowers.
ቅና ቅቡልነት የነበረው ነበር በተለይ በምራባውያን እይታ ስናየው አዲሱ የለውጥ ኃይል ለውጥ ያመጣል የሚል ሳቤም ስለነበር በመልካም እይታ ቀበሉት ነበር።
However, despite the success of Ethiopian diplomacy in its 5-year journey, there were also times when it fell under the influence of the West.
በተለይ በፐብሊክ ዲፕሎማሲና በዲጂታል ዲፕሎማሲ በዲያስፖራም ያሉ ኢትዮጵያን ኢሜጅ ኢትዮጵያን ጥቅም ይጎዳ ባባይ ውሃም ሆነ ከጦርነቱ ጋር በተያያዘ ያሉን ነገር ይሄንን ዲፌንድ ለማድረግ የተሄደበትን ለውጥ አምጥቷል። ያ ማለት ግን ስቲል አሁንም በቂ ስራ ተሰርቷል ማለት አይቻልም።
በተለያየ ቦታዎች ቀውሶች ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ መታየት በጀመሩበት ሰዓት ወዲያውኑ አውቶማቲካሊ የዲፕሎማሲ ገጽታችንን በዛው መንገድ በተወሰነ መንገድ አፌክት ያደረገው እየሸረሸረ የመጣበት ሁኔታ ታይቷል። ደቡብ አፍሪካ ፕሪቶሪያ ስምምነት በኋላ የፌደራል መንግስትና የህወሓት ያን ስምምነት ካደረጉ በኋላ እንደገና ዲፕሎማሲ ሌላ አይነት መልክ ይዞ በተሻለ መንገድ የመጣበት ሁኔታ መታዘብ ችለናል።
The foreign affairs researchers stressed that Ethiopia should work for an unbreakable internal bond in order for its diplomacy to rise above waters.
The construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam GERD has reached the final stage through the united effort of the Ethiopian people, Deputy Prime Minister Damaka Makonnen said. The National Council for the Coordination of Public Participation on the Construction of GERD, chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister, held a consultative forum that discussed the implementation of the construction of the dam and assessed the preparations for the celebration of the 12th year of the laying of the cornerstone at Guba, Benishangul Gumuz. Speaking on the occasion, Damaka noted that Ethiopians have been supporting the construction of the dam without any differences since the launching. Some 18 billion birr has been collected in various parts or in various ways since the laying of the cornerstone of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam back in 2011. The all-round activities to complete the dam have been supported by citizens that are leading the project and doing a proud work that will pass on to generations, the Deputy Premier stated. In business, the Ethiopian Airlines, a member of the Star Alliance and the largest airliner in Africa, has confirmed that it has resumed its 4 times weekly direct flight to Singapore this week, 3 years after its last operation to the Asian country. It is to be recalled that the airliner has announced December 22 plans to return to the Southeast Asian city-state with the ultra-modern B787 Dreamliner. It was also disclosed that Ethiopian has suspended its direct flights to Singapore in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. ECA Acting Executive Secretary Antonio Pedro said Ethiopia's homegrown economic reform could serve as an example for other African countries, and we are creating a platform for sharing these experiences among African countries. The homegrown economic reform is aimed at transforming Ethiopia from a largely agrarian low-income country to an industrialized lower middle-income country by 2030. The acting executive secretary, Antonio Pedro, told the Ethiopian news agency that these experiences are very important to improve the capacity of all Africans to respond to crises and move forward with the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, enhancing the process of economic transformation of the continent. Finance Minister Ahmed, on his part, had told the Ethiopian news agency that inflation is affecting the country's economy despite the resilience and growth witnessed in the country over the past few years, challenging due to the war in the northern part of the nation and the Russia-Ukraine war.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Birr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Welcome back again. In its drive to reinforce commitment and partnership with stakeholders, the Africa Finance Corporation AFC, the continent's leading infrastructure solutions provider, will convene the third edition of its Country and Stakeholder Symposium on the 4th of April 2023. The event will bring together leaders including the President of Zambia, Haikande Hichilema, Egyptian Finance Minister Mohamed Mait, and Ethiopian State Minister for Finance Eyob Tekaling, among others, according to AFC. The symposium, organized under the theme Partnering for Resilience and Sustainable Growth in Turbulent Times, will convene industry experts from the government and the private sector in conversation on how African governments, investors, and other stakeholders can partner with the AFC to implement innovative solutions that deliver on their development agenda in uncertain times. The AFC was established in 2007 to be the catalyst for private sector-led infrastructure investment across Africa. And finally, Donald Trump is due to appear in a New York court on Tuesday, where he will become the first former United States president to face criminal charges. The details of the charges are under seal, but the grand jury that voted for the indictment was investigating a payment made to the adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential election campaign. A handful of protesters came out Friday at Trump Tower in New York as news of the former president's indictment filtered through. About 6 kilometers to the south, outside the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, the anticipation among the world's media is also building as a date with history draws closer. But back in Florida, Donald Trump's plane remains firmly on the tarmac. Since the Manhattan District Attorney's Office confirmed Trump's indictment over hush money payments to a former adult film star, speculation has mounted over how Trump's arraignment will play out and its potential effect on the country. Trump's lawyers say they'll vigorously fight the charges and framed the indictment as political persecution. You're watching Addis News Hour. Here's a reminder of the stories making headlines. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed visits the ancient palace of Emperor Fasilides in Gondar town. And Italy expresses desire to bolster strategic partnership with the Horn of Africa. And that's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Many thanks for watching. Have a good night and take care.